Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Monday, the 14th of May, comes to you from London. And we start by looking at the dollar and just sinking a little bit lower. It's had the last few days of the dollar trading just lower, so bearish below the cloud on that short-term chart. Just retracing some of this move that we've seen over the last several weeks with the dollar strengthening. So at the moment, we've got a downside target of about 1%. We do still have upside targets of 1, 1.8 and 5%. So it'll be interesting to see if the dollar can get back above this cloud. Looking at the euro dollar, of course, dollar weakness short term means euro strength, and we are seeing that euro just pushing higher again, back towards that 120 level. Japanese yen is also looking a bit stronger against the dollar, but the dollar just holding on a bit more here. And if we make it through the cloud here, we are transitioning. So not looking as bearish against the yen as against other currencies. And sterling also is just pushing a little bit higher against that weaker dollar, but it's flat. So we're seeing here that sterling is not performing as strongly as the euro is against the dollar. So it's in line with the dollar at the moment. If we look at sterling against the euro, we fell here on last week on Thursday quite heavily. The Bank of England announcement just meant that sterling is still trading lower. Downside targets here, and medium term we're just coming under pressure. Long term we're still bearish. So sterling still doesn't look anywhere near as strong against the euro. Um, as you would hope. And then looking at against the Swiss franc, sterling is weaker, and against the Australian dollar, which is sitting below this 180 level. Um, Looking at Bitcoin, Bitcoin fell quite sharply to last week, and we're just coming off again this morning, struggling to get through this medium-term trend on the cloud, so we're just short-term bearish there. And against the S&P 500 index, we're seeing here also that the market is just still recovering. So looking quite strong there, and the recovery now sort of well underway. Turning to bullish on all three time frames. And the same true of the Nasdaq and the Dow. We had quite a good end to the week, and we can see last week in context. This was the week strongest week really we've seen for a while, and we're still not quite bullish on the Dow on the medium term chart, but looking much better. And the Russell 2000 index has looked pretty strong all along, nudging new all-time highs here for the top 2000 US companies, so looking better there as well. The future up this morning about 1/3%, and the Nasdaq E-mini also up about 1/3%. So it does look like the US market will open slightly higher. FTSE 100 just barely changed this morning, but looking pretty strong now on all three time frames, as is the FTSE mid 250. The Xetra DAX still looking pretty good too, and the CAC Quarante just struggling to make these new all-time highs, just hitting the January high resistance, but looking pretty good. Japanese market overnight was up 2/3%. Medium-term chart was still not quite through on the cloud, but looking strong. And the Hang Seng also looking stronger just through on the cloud as well. The Chinese market also looking stronger short term. Regular viewers will know it's been a bit of a concern of mine. Looking at the Indian market, the Sensex looking stronger, medium and long term, so it's looking good. And the Australian market also just trying to nudge those new all-time highs as well. Brent crude sitting at 76.60 this morning, just pulling back a little bit, but really has marched up the hill and looking very strong on all three time frames. Just coming off the top a little bit there on the short-term chart, and WTI still holding the $70 mark, but just coming back a little bit as well. US nat gas sitting at $2.82, jumped on the storage numbers last week and just holding that level, but no real trend in the medium or long term charts. Gold is back above $1,320, short term bullish. We do have a couple of upside targets, 1331, 1334, and the medium and long term picture is still looking pretty good. Looks like we found support here on the lagging line for gold, so looking quite strong there. And silver also bullish in the short-term chart. Medium and long-term charts still have a little bit of work to do. US 10-year yield sitting at 2.98%, just slightly bearish below the cloud on the short-term chart, but medium and long-term holding its position. Looking at US tech stocks on Friday, overall held the gains for the week. Apple was off a few percent, but had made all new all-time highs in the week, so no surprises there that we came back a little bit. The same with Amazon. We just came back there as well. So we're seeing that we're coming back on Amazon, and if we look at Google, we see here as well that we're pushing higher. Facebook just moving back above the cloud there, looking very strong long term as well, and Microsoft also looking higher. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.